Oh, good morning. It's too early.
Far too early.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show probably in the universe.
At least that we know of. And if there is another one, don't tell us.
I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And today's a little speed round.
It is a little speed round. We've only got a little less than an hour to do this show. Life has happened.
Life has happened, and so we're speeding through today, Lil Pickles.
And there's so much news, too, of course, today.
So let's just jump right into it. First of all, that good Animal Crossing.
Always love to start with an Animal Crossing update. Festival is coming to Animal Crossing.
It's Festival.
I'm so excited about it. It looks so lovely. We got a shaky, shaky peacock. I love it. I love it. I love anything that makes my villagers dance.
We've got sparkly tropical outfits. We've got a shimmying peacock. We have beautiful headdresses.
Look at her back there.
We will, of course, have special festival outfits and items. Pave must dance. Pave, he's our bird. He can do it. Spread the word. Ooh la la, festival.
Oh my God. I love everything about that. I love Pave's little rainbow choker. Look at this. Look at the party.
This is tomorrow, folks.
It starts tomorrow.
This is tomorrow. And then, of course, a little tease of March's Mario update for
I'm very
Mario's
excited.
anniversary.
Yeah, roll the intro one more time. We got time for that.
I'm just gonna roll the intro one more time. Should I sign up for updates from PC Gamer?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
That starts tomorrow. This morning, or last night actually, I found my Switch in a place where I was like, I never would have seen this again if I didn't happen to look here. I don't know how it got there. It was in some weird box that had gotten slid under my bed. Hasn't been that long since I played with my Switch.
Wow.
Never would have found it again. It clearly got set on something and then fell into something and moved somewhere. It was truly a miracle.
Do you think the cats had anything to do with it?
The cats usually probably have something to do with it. There were a couple of Animal Crossing things as well. There were those Sanrio cards.
Oh, yes.
While we're talking about Animal Crossing, there were the collab of Animal Crossing and Sanrio. Previously, there were some posters that we had discussed. These were little playing cards that had some exclusive villagers on it, and they are so cute. They're so precious, and I want to get my hands on them, and I think they are nearly impossible to do so.
So right now, they were only available in Japan. They were going for exorbitant prices on eBay, but they are coming to America and Europe. Here in the States, they will only be available at, I believe, Target.
Can you zoom in on those exclusive villagers for
I
me?
would love to zoom in on some exclusive villagers for you.
Look at them.
So these are all Animal Crossing villagers. It's not Sanrio characters in your town, but it's Animal Crossing characters that are based on Sanrio characters. So Rilla is, of course, Hello Kitty. You've got Marty, who is Pom Pom Purin. Etoile, who is, I think, one of the Twinkle Star sprites. Chai, who is what is that Mallow one? I don't know.
I do not remember the Sanrio characters' names well enough.
But Toby is Keroppi, and that's all you need to know.
I love Toby. That's a cute little bunny. I want them all.
He's a frog bunny.
I would like a frog bunny. I don't know why they wouldn't make that character a frog.
Because it's funny. It's a frog bunny.
Why they were like, oh, for the frog character? What do you think? A bunny?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because making it a frog, people would expect that.
Aha. Must be unpredictable.
Gotta be a little unpredictable.
Those are the secrets behind Animal Crossing, everybody. You too can make an Animal Crossing game now.
In further game update news, the Good Wiggly Bean Boys are getting another update.
I love Fall Guys updates. I don't actively play Fall Guys almost ever anymore. But God, every time they do an update, they do it so well. The costumes are always wonderful. The new levels are always fascinating, and they always have a fun new name.
Season 3.5 will include a brand new level, 40 new variations for existing levels, the fall feed, which is a bunch of stats and all kinds of interesting things about your Fall Guys play. A new DLC pack, Godzilla, Sonic, and the Goose Game costumes will be available in the regular store.
Hey, you notice they didn't put King Kong in there?
And it's probably coming. They're gonna kiss, Godzilla and King Kong.
You think the King Kong and Godzilla are gonna kiss?
First, they're gonna hit each other with a magical axe.
And then they're gonna kiss.
And then they're gonna kiss. It's the classic magical axe to friends to lovers trope that we all enjoy in our
Honestly,
kaiju movies.
I'm exhausted by it. I'm very excited about the fact that they put a Godzilla costume in and a Goose Game costume. Y'all, do I need to play Lego Star Wars? I've never played a Lego Star Wars,
need
but
to
Babu
play Lego
Frick,
Star Wars.
Babu Frick is going to be one of hundreds of playable characters in the new Lego Star Wars.
There are 300 playable characters in Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, and Babu Frick is one of them.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Of course Babu Frick is one of them. We don't know much else about other playable characters.
But I would assume they're probably in there. With 300 playable characters,
Yeah.
whoever you like in Star Wars is probably in there.
Hey chat, it's 8:17 a.m. where we are. It should be 8:17 a.m. where you are if time is working appropriately. Put an arrow next to your name and tell us what character that you want to see in Lego Star Wars, because it's probably there. And we'll tell you if it's probably there.
They have also said that Yaddle is there. They're all there. They're all there. And of course, you will be playing through all of the Skywalker Saga films, and you can play through them in any order you want. I recommend playing Rise of Skywalker first so you can unlock Babu Frick.
Yeah, and then what? Going back to the beginning?
Yeah. And then playing through it all, and you will see that Babu Frick is the true hero of the saga.
Yeah.
A lot of people will tell you, your thinking man, your galaxy brains will tell you that it's R2-D2, but let me tell you something. Babu Frick was there all along.
Babu Frick just was like low-key in the background of A New Hope.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he absolutely was.
Episode 1, him just like running by in the background.
Lots
the truest
of
Star Wars Easter egg from a Star Wars boy you would know.
In other licensed game news, Hitman 3 is out.
Oh, this is awkward, but it looks like you're using an ad blocker.
Oh, that's super awkward.
Would you maybe want to whitelist?
Oh my gosh, that's super
the
awkward.
IGN. That's awkward.
Oh, jeez. Sign up for our newsletter. Hitman 3 is out.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge.
Yes. And we talked not too long ago about the Hitman devs working on a 007 game, which they are uniquely qualified to do.
And they have given us a little bit more information. They conducted an interview with the Danish Broadcasting Corporation. They were eating pjoffertjes and stroopwafels and open-faced sandwiches and just getting high and talking about the 007 game.
Weirdly, all of this was in the IGN article.
This was all in the IGN article.
He's just reading the IGN article.
It says it right here.
Yeah.
They were watching episodes of John Diamond, and they were talking to the Danish Broadcasting Company about what's going to happen.
But you can't put it on YouTube.
You can't put it on YouTube. But they were asking what's going to happen, and IO said, okay, number one, we're making our own James Bond. This is not based on any actor who's played James Bond before.
Which I love.
Which means it's also not Idris Elba. Once again, it's not Idris Elba.
Look, do I want everything to be Idris Elba at all times? Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
But not in this IO game.
But I think that we can have a fictional James Bond that only exists in this game, and I'd be perfectly fine with that.
As
and
opposed
it
to the very real James Bond, who
as
stalks
opposed
us.
to the representation of an actor that's a real human man.
Who stalks us with his machine gun car in the night. I've seen him. I've seen him driving through my neighborhood.
Who knows?
He does this to me.
Maybe 007 will be a lady.
Probably not.
Probably not. We don't get female leads in games like this. It'll never happen. And it's,
So not only will it be a completely new James Bond, but they're thinking it's going to be 3 games. It's going to be a trilogy. They're planning on this being that big. They're going that hard on James Bond.
I mean, hey, I'm in. I loved a little GoldenEye. That's perfectly fine. But catch me on the next announcement day when they finally give us a trailer for this game, being that TikTok sound. A white man! It would be so bad. Please don't give us another white man. I beg of you.
I mean, that's what
Hitman.
That's what it's gonna be. They're gonna go. They're gonna go as safe as possible with this. That's the way it's gonna be.
Don't do it.
And here's my thing about this. I think obviously, the IO devs should be doing James Bond. It makes sense. You play Hitman, you go, they should be doing James Bond. But here's my question. Ain't that just another Hitman game?
I do feel like it.
But maybe just a little more punchy. You know, James Bond, he does a little more of the punchy out in the world.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do as much of the sneaky.
It's not quite as much of the trickery that I understand Hitman to be.
Right.
It'll be a little more like pow pow and a little less like...
In all honesty, I'll probably play it all the way through because it'll be for dumb people like me who can't wrap their head around Hitman 3.
Hey, maybe, Io, could we have a woman of color?
In the game? Maybe. As James Bond? Absolutely not.
As maybe 007?
Ooh, you know, we'd love... They're just eating an open-faced sandwich and they're like, I'm sorry, what?
Oh, 007?
Are we on the phone or are we in the same room? Because I'm eating the sandwich. I can't do both. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
It's
I can't.
open, and that's why your food is messier. Look,
If
if you had 2 pieces of bread on that sandwich, you'd be able to take my call, no problem. Listen, Io,
Yeah?
did you put me on speaker? Okay, this is awkward. I'm gonna be honest.
Well, because I'm eating a sandwich.
Okay,
I put the sandwich
I hardly
down and
would
I
call
put
that
the
a
sandwich on
sandwich.
speaker. I'm
that's not
confused.
a sandwich. That's okay.
Are you the woman who keeps calling about the James Bond being a person of color?
Yeah, I would love that if you wouldn't. Do you have any statement on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I accidentally hung up my sandwich.
What?
That's...
It's probably gonna be a white man.
It's definitely going to be a white man. It's definitely going to be a white man. We haven't even had it in the movies yet.
I know, but they're setting up a whole new... They're like, hey, we have our own. It doesn't have to correlate to the
Yeah,
movies,
it's their
which is
own white guy.
It's such an opportunity. Who needs their own white guy?
It's just Hitman with a wig. What do you... That's all it is. It's just Hitman with a toupee and a blue tie instead.
God damn it.
That's all it is.
I want to be excited for this game, and I'm struggling. I did mention John Halo. What's going on with John Halo?
You remember John Halo, who fights for the future because everybody lives on a big ring in the stars, but the apes and the bugs don't want us to live there.
Promise Mr. Spartan is coming to see you soon.
343 has promised that the monthly Halo Infinite updates are going to start soon. They should start this week. They should. It's gonna. Whoops. Sorry. Let me just get my pinky back in.
You're not promising me that.
No, I did promise. I felt like we did it. I felt like we did a pinky and we promised. Obviously, Halo Infinite was delayed. It was delayed until November. Supposedly, and now it's delayed until
forever.
This November, we think.
Yeah.
But basically, people have been like, okay, you announced that you were gonna fix Craig, the beautiful Craig, that our handsome boy. You were gonna bring those graphics up to speed. You were gonna make it something that we were really excited about, and you were gonna release the multiplayer early for us to have.
Right.
Since then, we haven't heard anything.
No,
That
they
was
have
in November.
gone silent.
So, Brian Gerard, the community director over at 343, was like, yo. We're not saying it's right or it's a good thing, but considering we went 12-month stretches of total darkness and our last update was on December 8th, there's no cause to worry. Keep in mind that we were out of the office for 2 or more weeks to end the year, and then it takes time to get back into the swing of things. Like, we are committed to at least monthly high-level updates, and the next Inside Infinite will be coming out this week. We're going to be talking to members of the Sandbox team to share some insights into their vision for Halo Infinite and the work they're doing.
Same thing I keep telling my boss. Look, we were out of the office for 2 weeks. I promise there's going to be big updates coming soon.
I like that their announcement about development being in development is in development.
Yeah, right? They're literally not even giving you the announcement. We're like, we promise there will be an announcement about the game that there will be, and when there is a game, there will be updates.
Does that make sense? Are
Got
we good?
it?
Are we good here?
Okay.
Great. Okay, James Bond's a white man. Gotta go.
God damn it. Man. Okay.
It's Tyler Ninjaman. He's back. He had an interview with the New York Times.
I have a lot of feelings on this. And they're not all awful.
Now, this interview with the New York Times, Tyler Ninjaman said a couple things. First of all, he basically doubled down on his comments about not playing games with women.
Which is something that he had said back in 2018 and has gotten a lot of flack for, rightfully so.
He said he doesn't play games with women because he doesn't want rumors going around about him and these women. Like, oh, haha, Tyler Ninjaman's playing games with this woman. They be fucking.
Because he is a married man and he thinks that that is an issue.
Now, his birth name wasn't Ninjaman. Did you know that? It was actually Pence.
Whoa.
Tyler Pence.
Wow.
Yeah,
never has dinner with a woman alone.
Never alone.
Now,
not unless mother says so.
There is such an inherent fundamental issue with I can't play games with women because people will assume I'm sleeping with them. Because, like, even if the internet will, hi, hello, how do we break down these boundaries of assuming that men would only interact with a woman to have sex with them?
Over a webcam on Twitch.
Correct.
Like, calm down, Tyler
Correct.
Ninjaman.
Hey.
You're not even in the same room. Don't worry, you sweaty little guy.
Hey, Ninja. I would totally play games on your channel, and I can promise you I would absolutely not have sex with you.
Listen, can we be honest? He has built a toxic teenage community, and I hate to generalize all teenagers, and yet I will do it because I'm an old man and that's what we do. He has built up a toxic gaming community that if he ever, and this is what we know it's really about, if he ever lost to a woman on his channel, he would never hear the end of it. Correct. And he would never feel the end of it because he is that insecure about himself.
Correct.
Now, above and beyond that, he also talked a bit about that community, the aforementioned community, and his responsibility to that community.
Or the lack of responsibility he feels to that community, actually.
Now, since the dawn of time, we have gotten from famous people the I am not a role model speech. Mm-hmm. It is not my job to parent your children. And hey,
it's not.
But it's not my job to parent your children it's such an overly far extrapolation of what we're asking of public figures.
Correct. So the actual context of this is people regularly spam hate speech in his chat. And he always says, well, they're just doing it to get a rise out of me. They're just doing it to get my attention, and I'm not going to give it to them. They're spamming racial slurs. They're spamming slurs against gay people. They're saying horrific things regularly in his chat, dropping just the words that you know not to say frequently. And he does nothing about it. Not even so much as like having a really active moderation team that's banning those people quickly.
No.
You can moderate your chat and your community, and that is your responsibility as a streamer. And it's also your responsibility as a wildly successful white man that would not be in his position if he wasn't a white man to speak on your place of privilege. So when he says it's not my responsibility to teach your kids about racism and white supremacy, it is your responsibility to acknowledge the system that you benefit from, though, quite simply.
And when you pair that up with I don't play games with women, when you let that sort of chat run rampant in your community, when you do nothing about it, you are basically setting an example through silence. And he does not believe that. He does not believe that his actions are setting an example or that his actions need to set an example. And I'm not going to put role model status on Tyler McNinja because nobody should. Tyler McNinja should be nobody's role model. However,
he has a lot of kids' role models.
He has a lot of kids' role models, and he is doing that thing where he is just not my circus, not my monkeys, except it is your circus, and these are your monkeys. You trained these monkeys.
Yeah.
If you want to see something, and listen, I want everybody to go and be very cool, be very, very cool to friend of the show, friend of the industry, Michelle Morrow. Michelle Morrow yesterday, you may know Michelle from many Blizzard things. She was one of the original architects behind YouTube Gaming and so many things. She's done so many wonderful things for the gaming community. And she basically called out Tyler Ninjaman on Twitter yesterday and immediately got exactly the kind of toxic bullshit from his community that
he's
you
cultivated.
would have expected, because he responded to her in a toxic way as well.
And every time that Ninja does something
proved
wrong,
the thing. thing.
Yeah.
He did the thing because in his fragility, he could not let a woman say something to him. Not let a woman with a blue check mark and a following say something to him without immediately getting offended and hitting back in, honestly, a very petulant way. So he proved everything. He proved all of the subtext, as they always do every fucking time.
Absolutely. And every time that Ninja does something wrong, he also gets his wife to go on Twitter and be like, he's the best man I know. Yeah, you
He's
married
the
him.
only man you know.
Right, you're
he
probably not
doesn't let you out of the
allowed.
house. Blink twice, Mrs. Ninjason. If we need to come get you.
And she's like, he gave a lot of money to the Black Lives Matter movement. And it's
Ooh.
like, that is not a substitute for base level decent behavior.
And he went right to that, too.
Yes, he did. He was like, I gave so much money to BLM.
Because the gaming community, a lot of organizations that represent people of color in the gaming community immediately hit back at this interview because they're like, my guy, this ain't it.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. Should I have not given, he literally said, should I have not given thousands of dollars to this cause? The guy, you don't, that's not what a charitable donation is. You're not allowed to bring it up that way.
You absolute
You're not
fuck.
allowed to use your charitable donation as leverage, Tyler. Woo,
The
Tyler.
absolute inability to do something as basic. Now, here's something that's been brought to the attention a lot. Everybody has rules that you have to agree to on Twitch, typically. Very common. All channels have them pretty much. You have rules that you agree to enter someone's chat. There are basic guidelines. You know, a lot of them are the basic. Don't be a dick. Don't be racist. Don't be homophobic. Don't be transphobic in my chat, right? He doesn't have any of that in his rules. He has something that's like, be kind to each other, and self-promo gets a ban, and those are his only rules.
Yeah. Please don't take away from my time. This
Exactly.
is Tyler time.
He said self-promo gets a ban. That's the one thing that he has set the precedent as getting a ban. That's
He
it.
has time and a mod community that can ban people for that, but not for the N-word? Tyler, it's almost as though you are a heartless corporation in the form of a blue-haired gangly man. So strange, Tyler. It's so weird how all of these early Twitch successes seem to run their channels the same way. How odd, Tyler.
How strange, Mr. Ninjaman. Attitude, like, think about how easy it would be to be like, it's in the rules, we're breaking the rules, we ban them if they do it. He's like, I don't need to be giving a lesson every time. Sure, don't stop your gameplay and give a lesson, I guess. I wish you would, but don't then. That's fine. Put it in your fucking rules, it takes nothing. Then they have to agree to when they enter. Then the mods can handle the banning. He will do nothing. Literally nothing to discourage people from being racist, toxic trash in his chat. And like, a white man.
A white man, everybody. A white man. Hey.
All the top streamers on Twitch are white men. All of them.
Am I a top streamer?
Not all of the white men are top streamers on
I'm
Twitch.
sorry, I get the transitive
Yeah.
property screwed up
That's
all the time.
fair.
Let's talk about some good news.
I love that.
Let's talk about some good news. The Borderlands movie is real. Not only is it real and it is coming in hot with so much news so fast. So fast. Kevin Hart is going to be playing Roland, and that news dropped like 6 hours after I heard that Cate Blanchett is playing Lilith,
Yes.
which dropped like a few hours after I heard the movie is being directed by Eli Roth.
Yes.
Eli Roth, of course, the man who built Blumhouse, basically. Cabin in the not Cabin in the Woods. What is it? The one where people shave off their skin.
I've not seen this.
He's a gross. He does the gross
Shave off
movies.
their skin.
Yeah, he does the gross movies. But he also was the Bear Jew,
Yeah.
which I love. I still love the Bear Jew.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
I haven't watched
Thank
Cabin
you.
Fever.
And then, of course, he made The House with the Clock in its Walls,
Mm-hmm.
which showed that he can do some sort of like high fantasy, big special effects stuff that appeals to a broad audience, which is great because this Borderlands movie is looking to be huge. Craig Mazin, who was the writer on Chernobyl and one of the writer-producers on The Last of Us 2, has written the latest draft of the script. Now, that seems tonally a little off.
Yeah.
But
I guess I don't know what the tone is for the show.
let's find out.
Borderlands is such an excellent franchise to move into film because there's so much humor and lore. There's so much fun character development in the games by itself that, like, yeah, give me it.
Yeah.
I would have preferred an animated Borderlands movie or series, personally, in the art style.
I get why they can't do that. I get why they still can't do that.
Why is that?
Because 3D, adult 3D animation has to either look completely realistic and mix in some real elements, or has to play to a limited audience because Americans are not ready for that yet.
Yeah, I get that. They just have such a good art style. I love the Borderlands art.
Now, we still don't, it's so good. I mean, that's part of what it was known for, you know, is that cel-shaded style being carried off so well. Now, people are mentioning in chat, there are some key figures that have not been cast. We don't know who they're going to be. We still don't know who's going to be Brick. We still don't know, like, is Tiny Tina there? Is Moxie there? Like,
everyone only wants to know who's going to be Claptrap.
I'll tell you who's going to be Claptrap. My gut tells me Claptrap. We're going to hear very soon that Claptrap is either Ben Schwartz, Josh Gad, or Danny Pudi.
You think?
Yes.
Whoa.
I think those are the three people Hollywood goes to for that type of voice coming out of that type of character.
Fascinating.
I feel like we will hear one of those three voices announced as Claptrap.
I also hope Moxie is there.
Mulaney, you're right. It could be Mulaney.
It could be Mulaney, but Mulaney has such a, like,
Mulaney's
recognizable voice.
Also, Mulaney's less chipper.
Yeah.
More kind of, even Spider-Ham had like a little bit of like that sarcastic, like wink, wink, nudge,
I
nudge.
just think John Mulaney always sounds like John Mulaney.
Yeah, which works great for Spider-Ham.
But not for Claptrap.
No.
Claptrap has a voice.
And I think Danny Pudi sounds the most like Claptrap in my head of those three. But man, do people love to go to Gad and Schwartz for this type of
But also,
role.
here's the thing. You could pull the voice actor from the games because it's still just the voice.
That'd be great.
They don't often do that for adaptations like this.
That dude's got a story, too. Have you ever heard the story of that guy?
No.
Oh my gosh, he had like a life-threatening injury. Like he broke his neck. They thought he was gonna die.
Wow.
And they thought he was never gonna walk again. It's wild. Read up on the guy who was the voice of Claptrap. It's amazing. Let's talk about this Airbnb that's a 7-Eleven that got an extreme gaming makeover. It's one of these limited run Airbnbs like we've seen before with the Blockbuster, where you could spend a night in the last Blockbuster.
It's like the last Blockbuster Airbnb, but worse.
This is a 7-Eleven in Dallas that is only going to be available for 2 nights, February 26th and February 28th. It is for $11 a night. It's basically done in a raffle system.
Yep.
If you win, you go to this 7-Eleven, which has been given a gamer makeover. Here's this little gaming station.
There's nothing
in the
I hate
middle.
more than the words gamer makeover.
Let me tell you something about gamer aesthetic.
Crawls up my fucking
There
spine.
isn't one. It's bad.
Blech.
But you get unlimited. Here's the little lounge, which of course has Dorito pillows and.
Then he says Doritos. Funny.
I say Dorito the way you say Dorito.
Dorito.
Dorito. It's a Dorito.
Danny Dorito.
Is this why you put this story in? Did you want to do this in public? Was this a trap? This is a thing she does to me all the time. She wanted to do it on camera. This is a trap.
Go on. Rest of it.
For $11 a night, you get unlimited access to the Slurpee machine, unlimited Mountain Dew, unlimited delicious corn chips. How dare you? And only two people. Oh, and tacos from this very famous place in Dallas.
Sure.
This is a nightmare. I'd like to stay there, please.
I mean, hey, 7-Eleven. We'll do the show from your weird gamer 7-Eleven.
Yeah, we will.
We'll do it.
I'll do a 24-hour stream from there.
24?
I'll do a 24-hour stream at the Gamer 7-Eleven in Dallas County, Texas. I will eat all of the chips, and I will have all of the Mountain Dew.
Redacted.
And I will drink all of the Slurpees. I will put my damn head under the Slurpee machine and give myself a brain freeze.
All right, everybody, start tweeting at 7-Eleven.
And I hate it.
I guess. Tweet at them. Ask them to let us do it.
There's Harry Potter news, but don't give any money to J.K. Rowling.
Please stop caring about Harry Potter. I'm sorry. We have to move on. I get it. It was important to me, too. I don't care anymore.
Listen, we all should have had a childhood where we actually were fans of a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, right?
Sorry that you backed the wrong horse.
I was a huge fan of
I was a huge fan of a series of unfortunate events.
That's how we ended up here. And honestly, I think that being a fan of a series of unfortunate events has definitely led me to how much I care about the new unearthed arcana gothic lineages.
Okay, we'll give that. That's a segue. We'll give it.
Yeah. Let me have it.
I'm gonna let you have it.
You didn't. You pointed it out.
Well, you pointed out my segue. Listen, we don't have to do this because you did the chip thing to me on camera.
Look. From everything we can tell right now, D&D is making a choice that players have been calling for a good while now, which is kind of moving away from races. Maybe we don't have to have race in D&D. Maybe the original foundation of Dungeons & Dragons and some of the ways that various races in Dungeons & Dragons are treated are a little problematic.
And we get it. You wanted to point out that there are different castes in society, different races are treated differently in society. You wanted that reflected in the game. The problem with reflecting that in the game is some players' characters get treated badly the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Which is not a cool way to do it.
And I, as somebody who plays predominantly homebrew, never, ever, ever play in campaigns where characters get spit on. But the Gothic lineages are the greatest thing to ever happen to D&D. They are now in UA, which is playtest content, so they are not being put into a book yet. This is where you have the opportunity to play them, test them out, give Wizards of the Coast your feedback. And I am so excited. So what we have is Damphir. Poised between the worlds of the living and dead, Damphirs retain their grip on life, yet are endlessly tested by vicious hungers. It's fucking vampires.
It's just vampire.
It's fucking vampires.
It's vampire.
Oh, it's fucking vampires.
You don't need to worry about creating some sort of weird workaround, and then everybody has to call you a vampire. And then no, you can be vampire, and they've built it into the game.
Yes, there are hunger levels. It's fascinating and lovely.
Dampier traits, like, they make a lot of sense. Like dark vision, obviously, spider climb, obviously, but they've added vampiric bite, regain hit points equal to the damage dealt by the bite, gain a bonus to the next ability check or roll you make. The bonus equals the damage dealt by the bite.
Yes.
That's so good.
It's so good. One of the others that we got is Reborn, which is another death-defying class, or rather, like, lineage. Death isn't always the end. The Reborn exemplify this in being individuals who have died and yet somehow still live. You can create, like, a Frankenstein's monster. They even suggested that you could be kind of like an amalgamation of things. A lot of them show physical aspects of the way that they died, and they are somehow brought back to life and whatever, essentially, you write for it.
Are they actually from the Frankenstein region of France?
Yes, canonically.
Whoa.
France and Dungeons and Dragons.
Fantasy France.
In addition, and we've seen this in some classes before, but they suffer some manner of discontinuity and interruption of their lives in a physical state. They have faded memories of whatever has kind of happened to them. Which is exactly how I write my, like, Kalistars usually.
I love that Wizards has been, like, just looked and was like, listen, 90% of the people playing this game right now are just goth as hell. Like, they're just goth as hell.
Hi, it me. I'm a goth. Thank you.
How do we just got to make sure we got to make sure these goths get what they want. Hexblood is very interesting and is being tested right now on Not Another D&D podcast in a little side campaign that they're doing. It's one of my favorite D&D podcasts, and also it's a great story right now, and the Hexblood is very interesting to me.
Hexblood is very interesting. They are. Hexbloods are individuals infused with eldritch magic, fey energy, or mysterious witchcraft. So this is your, like, this would be a fascinating way to build a warlock. I think this would be a fascinating foundation for a warlock or a sorcerer because you're imbued with it inherently in some way.
Yeah.
But you get to decide what that is. They have some cool traits.
In NADPOD, they're doing it. They're called the Hexblood Centurions, and they are basically like a Kingsguard that lives for 150 years and has been imbued with, like, with like otherworldly senses and stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with Hexblood.
Magic token. As an action, you can harmlessly pull out one of your nails, a tooth, or a lock of hair. This token is imbued with magic until you finish a long rest. While the token is imbued in this way, you can use an action to send telepathic messages to a creature holding or carrying the token. You can just fucking rip out a tooth and hand it to somebody and be like, cool, this is how I communicate with you now.
Now, you can only do that with like 26 people.
Right,
Because
if
then
you choose
because-
teeth, then you gotta move on to hair.
Then you gotta move on.
Yeah. And you have to do it. So Reborn, Hexblood, Dampier, I'm very excited about it. I'm building a very goth character right now. And I'm probably gonna make her Reborn because I think it's very cool. I like the idea of the like physical attributes, and you could just be like, I've got a gaping hole in the center of my chest. Bite me.
Why not?
Terrifying. Oh, I'm so excited about it. I love Unearthed Arcana. All of my favorite characters that I've ever built have been built off of Unearthed Arcana. The Druid classes that they released were some of my favorite additions to D&D ever. Circle of Wildfire, Circle of the Stars, Circle of Dreams. I really like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. Yeah. This is going to be good, and I love that it's in playtest right now. Everybody can go and download the playtest rules and just make yourself a monstra within the D&D. Be a monstra person.
Build vampires.
And not like a Tyler McNinja monstra person, like a physical monstra person.
Yeah. You can still be a better person than Ninja as a monster in D&D.
It's such a low bar. That's it. That's the end of news. You watched all of the news in the world. Good for you.
You're officially caught up. But to stay up to date, you're going to have to watch the rest of the shows. We're live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on twitch.tv/PixelCircus.
News is an unending beast that will never stop pursuing you. You
So-
can only run from the news.
Start running.